We bring the situation and you decide, is it petty?
Or is it valid? Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Petty or Valid podcast. We are your hosts, Jan.
And Twan. All right, man, let's get right into this one. Check this out. So, it's going to be a sensitive subject and topic. I think it's a very common one, and I'm excited about getting into it. So, boom. All right. My wife's birthday falls on Father's Day this year. Okay. And we've run into a disagreement. I told her I like to celebrate her birthday on Saturday instead. So that Sunday can be focused on Father's Day and spending time with our kids. I still planned on taking her out, getting her gifts, and making her birthday special. I just thought celebrating a day early made more sense. Okay? She got upset and said her actual birthday only comes once a year and that she shouldn't have to move it because it happens to fall on Father's Day. Now she's saying I'm prioritizing Father's Day over her birthday. From my perspective, I'm not canceling her birthday. I just want to celebrate it the day before. Am I wrong for asking my wife to celebrate her birthday on Saturday because her birthday falls on Father's Day? Yawn. Let's go.
Okay, this is actually a really good one. Let me say this first. This brings me back to when I was in college. I was in like this psychology class, and in the psychology class, they'd bring up these topics, and the teacher would just divide us, and you'd either be on the for it side or against this side, and you had to argue your point. Even if you were against it, you had to be for it if you were on that side. So it just brings me back to that situation. To that time in my life. I could actually understand both sides, and I could argue my point on both sides. But today I'm gonna go with um before I get into if I think it's petty or valid, I'm gonna say this here. As a girl who loves her birthday, I totally get, my birthday is special. It's only once a year. Father's Day only come once a year. Everybody's birthday, Mother's Day, everything only comes once a year. So I get that. But I'm gonna rock with valid this time. I think that he is very much valid for wanting, Father's Day to be about him this year, and celebrating her birthday the day before.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say that he is very much valid. Um, and again, I think that men don't get enough praise. Maybe I'm gonna go there. When it comes to like Mother's Day, the world stops for Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, the world is like it's Mother's Day. But then when it's Father's Day, I always hear men not necessarily complain, but they notice that I guess the favoritism isn't the same. We
Mm-hmm.
don't all stop and it's Father's Day, I gotta go celebrate my dad. We don't do that. And so I do think that if he really wants to be celebrated on Father's Day, I do think that celebrating a birthday, the day prior, it should be okay. Um, I don't know how many of you guys even know us. This year, our anniversary actually falls on Father's Day. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's crazy. I did notice that. So I think that's why I say I think this situation is so common and it's so interesting because it hits home, not just for us this particular year, but I think it hits home for a lot of couples around the world. Every single year somebody has some type of special occasion that's falling on a national holiday or something of that nature. So it can become a little touchy. And I do agree with you when you say that Father's Day, because studies has shown, and I think around this time there's a lot of content that talks
Mhm.
about this too, where there's a lack of appreciation and a lack of intentionality when it comes to celebrating fathers and making sure that we walk around knowing that we're seen, we're heard, we're understood, and that we're loved as well. Like the Father's Day aisle in any store right now is just 100%. It's a drought.
Father's Day is actually in the stores is actually celebrated right now with graduation and 4th of July.
Yeah, I think that's crazy because we don't get exclusive day that is all about us, or an exclusive season that seems to be all about us. I think is a very I think we have learned and we have trained ourselves, and society has trained us as men to put ourselves last and to put ourselves to the back of the bus and to put ourselves like we are the lack thereof of priority, right? We don't think it's like society has taught us that we are not as important and we don't need as much recognition and as much praise for who we are and what we do because it's supposed to be our duty. You know what I mean? So when it's time to celebrate us, it's time to celebrate fathers. I think that's a very important time. And I want to touch on something real quick too. It's on topic but off topic. Now that I think about it, Jan, I've always seen these trends where women show up on Father's Day because they're single mothers and say, "Oh, happy Father's Day to me."
Mm,
And I personally think it's so disrespectful because if a man step forth on Mother's Day, if he's a single parent father, because there is a lot of them out there, you know what I mean? And he says, "Oh, happy Mother's Day to me," we gonna look at him kind of cockeyed and side
mm-hmm.
eyed, like, wait a minute, Mother's Day, you couldn't birth a child, you know what I mean? Yeah, but you also, well, y'all can't put a child in yourself today, um, based on science, etc. But when we thinking about the more common way, it took two of you to make that happen. So don't put a lack of appreciation on one sex when it comes to the gift of a child. I think that it's an equal privilege and an equal amount of value there when it comes to creating another human being. And that's just my 2 cents real quick. I had to go on that real quick. But let me get to whether I think it's petty or valid. um I think that it is valid as well for this gentleman to be analytically thinking. I think he's thinking. I think that his wife is emotionally attached to her birthday. I think he's being inclusive when he, asks the question, "Hey, is it, can we compromise? Can we flip this thing around real quick?" Because it doesn't happen. I think it happens every 7 years, you say, Jan?
Yes. 6 or 7, yes.
Yeah. So when you think about that within this context, I think I heard you say that to me before. It doesn't happen often. So if we gotta adjust this year, let's make the adjustments, right? Either way,
Mhm.
both days we're celebrating. Both
Right.
days we have a reason to go out and go to a Japanese restaurant, go to a black owned restaurant, go to a whatever it is you want to go to. You have a reason to go out and splurge and have a good time and celebrate one another. So yeah, I think it's valid too. Um, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think that being able to celebrate each other should be more like the bigger picture. Um, the thing for just to give y'all a little bit of our personal life this year, um, we were not going back and forth, but my husband wanted to celebrate Father's Day like the day before Father's Day. And I was adamant that Father's Day is Father's Day. You
Hmm.
deserve to be celebrated on Father's Day. And so, as for our anniversary, I kept saying, like, no, please, let's just do it, prior to Father's Day so that you could feel special. But he was very much like, no, 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 that our anniversary is our anniversary. But we ended up settling on celebrating Father's Day on Father's Day. So, like I understand is I think that, as a father, we should do more celebrating you guys. To all the fathers out there, we appreciate you. I don't know if you hear it, at all, but you are appreciated. You know, um, we thank all the fathers, the stepfathers, the uncles that step in as fathers, the teachers that fill in as fathers, the coaches, all men that step up in some type of way to be a father. Happy Father's Day to you guys.
I'm, I'm just crying for all of us right now. I received that for all of us men. Yeah, I think you point out, Jan, our personal situation that's currently going on because we're in the same type of scenario, same posture right now. And I wanted to point out something. See, it took two selfless people that were thinking unselfish, like in an unselfish way, where it was about more about me. and it was more about her, right? It was more about us. It was more about the you with the s on it that makes it plural in this particular situation. It wasn't about me, 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 me. It takes me back to, if Jan, if you don't mind me sharing this, I think we had a football tournament or something going on, and I think it was like on your birthday. It was like on your birthday weekend or something like that, and we ended up making it work, figuring it out together, right? Where it was like, you know, she could have been 100% selfish, like it's my birthday, da, da, da. And I say, hey, I think a lot of people move like that, but you have to ask yourself this question: what happens when life happens, right? What happens when an event or a circumstance or a situation presents itself and it interferes with your day, right? It interferes with your birthday, it interferes with your anniversary, it interferes with whatever it may be, your graduation, annual graduation year, whatever you come up with, I don't know, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that you celebrate, what happens when life decides that it's going to plan something on your birthday that's a non-negotiable and that's important to someone connected to you, right? The question it becomes for you: are you going to count yourself out and be selfish, or are you going to make an adjustment to say, you know what, I can do that and do this, right? I can take the back seat for a second, and I'm gonna still turn up now. I'm gonna still get my turns. Yeah, we ain't canceling it, right? And that's what I like about what he said in the story, is that he was not canceling.
Hmm.
Um, when you make him feel like he's important, he matters, and that you're willing to not lower yourself, but you're willing to say, let me humble myself and say, you know what? It's about us right now. It's about you right now. That's the beautiful thing. See, you're focused on him, he's focused on you. So whether it's your birthday y'all celebrating, or whether it's the other day, you're still making it about one another. So you both win when it becomes about us and not about you.
Absolutely. And so, production told me that I forgot to shout out the grandfathers. Grandfathers, happy Father's Day. We love y'all. I have a super amazing dad. I love you. Happy Father's Day. And I have two super special father in laws. Father in loves is what I'm going to call them. Shout out to both of you. You know who you are. I love you guys. Thank y'all for everything. Um, Happy Father's Day. Family, if you have, I first and foremost, I want you guys, if you have a special, someone you know, a father that's special in your life, whether it's your father, just any father you know, drop their names in the comments. Tell them Happy Father's Day, okay? And then if you think that he is petty for wanting to celebrate Father's Day on Father's Day, drop a P in the comments. Or if you think he's a valid, drop a V in the comments. Y'all know we love to hear from you guys. Um, and that's all I have for today.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody. Happy Father's Day to everybody again. I echo everything that Jan has said. And man, let's just keep the main thing, right? Um,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead and definitely drop them P's or them V's or whatever you think, this situation deserves. If that person is willing to humble themselves and say, I'm gonna chill,
Hmm.
you know, have that sincere intention to say, even though it is about you and it may become about me, always make sure that your person, that's the key, your person feels special and feel honored when you guys make those type of adjustments, so that no man feels like, or no woman feels like they were being played or manipulated or something like that. So make sure it's about us and not about you. But look, y'all know what we say. I'm gonna let my wife do the honors and say our tag. Don't be what?
Don't be petty all your life. Keep it valid. Happy Father's Day.
Holla.